Welcome back to the program. Today we are focusing on the global cyber attack that began on Friday. And it's clearly vital now for both businesses as well as individuals to take the correct steps to ensure their own cyber safety. For a company perspective, let's go to Singapore. Dropsuite CEO Charif El-Ansari joins the program. Charif, appreciate your time today. Look, just to start with it and broadly, how serious an attack was this? How big a threat has this posed?
Well, thank you for having me, first of all. I believe this is the tip of the iceberg when it comes to cybersecurity threats. The reason why I say that is that this is just tackling one Microsoft vulnerability that has taken place from back in April. As the Internet of Things start growing, I do expect further attacks that are much more painful than this one.
And attacks that we can be prepared for, or are they likely to come out of left field? Are we not prepared for that level of attack?
We're definitely not prepared to that level of attack on multiple levels. One is there has to be a lot more education to the population about the threats of cybersecurity. It's very much like a health issue. You have to educate the masses on what to do and what not to do to address these issues. The second one, which is extremely important as well, software companies have to build and embed security measures and processes within their software and continue to be responsible for it after they sell and deploy the software with the end users. These two critical issues have to happen for things to get better from this point onwards.
Well, let's look at the first issue you raised, and that's the education around this, likening it to educating people on health. So is that the responsibility, do you think, of individual governments? Is that where the education needs to come from, or is there a combination with the private sector as well?
I think it has to go hand in hand. The reason is everybody gets infected and affected by this, whether it's a private company or a public company and everything in between. And as you can see, the economic damages can be substantial. So I think everybody has to work hand in hand to educate the masses. And then there are some very simple things that can be done. For example, educating people not to open emails or download files that are coming from senders that they don't know, for example. This is one of the most basic and one of the biggest reasons why ransomware takes place in the first place.
So is there a level of complacency? Is that why some of these attacks have been as successful as they have, a degree of complacency on individuals as well as business?
Yes, I have to admit that's absolutely true. There are multiple levels. One is you have to download and update your software with patches, in this case coming from Microsoft, because if you have downloaded this latest patch, you would have been fine. That's number one. Number two, you have to deploy high quality and modern antivirus and anti-malware software to your computers and systems. And the third, which is probably one of the most important things to do, is that you've got to back up your systems and your files and your data in an encrypted fashion, and you have to save this data in a separate place. That's what our company does for a living, actually. We back up encrypted in the cloud and allow users to access it and restore the data when something like this takes place.
How sophisticated are these hackers and I suppose the strategies that they're now adopting? I imagine many people think, young kids at night sitting around and wearing hoodies, but it's a lot more than that, isn't it?
Unfortunately, I can call it safely an industry. It's an industry. And the reason why I say that, because the economic benefits that they derive from doing such activities are pretty huge. And this has been greatly enabled by the availability of cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, where I take your data as a ransom. I show you a very nice message that says, pay me $300 or $1,000 and through Bitcoin, and you'll get your data within minutes. So when you have an industry, you have to fight it as if it's an industry. You can't just be reactive to such threats.
Charif El-Ansari, appreciate your time this afternoon. Thank you.